Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and this week, HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating presents another full half hour to issues related to the Kearsarge Regional School District and the budget to be voted on this coming Tuesday in your town. I'll be joined by many of the educators within the Kearsarge Regional School District. The HR Clough companies are dedicated to providing the best local services and products and being a good corporate citizen with efforts like today's Yankee Chronicle special. Please stay with us as we hear from the underwriters that make your Yankee Chronicle possible.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you with this special check-in from the Kearsarge Regional School District, and someone who will be able to update us with all the things happening here is Superintendent Winfried Feneberg. Hi, Winfried.
Hello, Abby. How are you?
I'm excited to hear all that's happening. We're in the mid of March. It's, spring's on the horizon. How are things happening this school year here at Kearsarge?
Well, as usual, a lot of things are happening,
yes.
and a lot of good things are happening here in Kearsarge. So that's what we would like to talk with you about.
Good.
Now that it's budget time,
yes.
About the warrant article and other things that we have done here in the school year so far and are planning to do in the future.
And it must feel good to be back into the normal swing of things as you've had a challenging year and a half to 2 years. So this is exciting to be back to a little bit of a normal life.
Yeah, a little bit of, everybody was expecting that, and we really enjoy the time with our kids, and everybody's relearning school, really. That's a big theme.
For sure. So talk about voting day next week. Town voters are prepared that there's always something Kearsarge based, so what can people expect on the ballot?
Yeah, so we have several things on the ballot. Obviously, the biggest and first part is the budget.
Sure.
We all know that prices have gone up, and our budget is going up as well. But there are a lot of things that the school board and the MBC has worked together with the administration to look at where we can limit it to reasonable expenses. And then, of course, there's some other things that we really can't control.
Sure.
And, for example, health insurance went up over $600,000 for this year. Transportation increase, we are almost $200,000 up from last year. And then utilities, I think we all have had electric bills and gas bills, and that's almost $600,000. So there are some elements that we need to pay for. We don't have, we have to keep the buildings warm and functional. So that obviously has taken a good chunk of money. We also have tried very hard with our new facilities director and in collaboration with the board to make sure that our learning environments are up to par, are really supporting the educational mission that we have. So as you know, there are so many opportunities that kids have in all grades, from the elementary to middle to high school. Career paths. We're trying to really offer more than just college preparation.
Yes.
We have our cooperation with the CTE Center in Concord. Kids take advantage of that. We have explored more and more extended learning opportunities where kids, just recently, eight kids from the high school graduated with an LNA certification.
Amazing.
And that's just very exciting for us to see that kids have more than just one option. And Kearsarge really, with co-curricular and curricular offerings, is unique. We do a lot for our kids and for our students. And the results really speak for themselves.
We just did a special with the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Jim Culhane, who's the president there, saying that they're struggling with workforce there. And we were talking actually about the LNA program here that just happened and how important it is to start these kids young, and you're giving them the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, we're trying very hard. Our elementary teachers, our middle school programs, they're all geared towards a successful preparation for life, career, and college, if that's what they choose to do.
Sure.
Now, one thing I want to say is what's not on the ballot this year. We have, after long discussions with the school board and the MBC, decided not to put the renovation and STEAM project for the high school on the ballot this year, just in recognition that other expenses have gone up so much. So this is one project where the board was very explicit. We will not put this before the voters this March, but we will, starting in April, work on reviving the project, really recost it, and start that conversation again about how this program is really needed.
Right.
It's not just to add stuff or facility. It's really to maintain our 50-plus-year-old high school where we have some building and facility needs.
Sure.
And Brett Pare, our new facilities director, he will talk later a little bit about some of these specific projects. So one thing that we need to point out, we have a newly negotiated peak agreement, which is the 3-year contract for the para-educators and support staff. And that is on the ballot. That will cover us for the next 3 years and provide all the supports that children need, in addition to teachers and administrators.
Great. Always great to catch up with you, hear a lot about it. Encourage people to get out and vote next week, town voting day in all 7 towns, really important. When we come back, I'll be joined by Christine Downing to talk about competency education here at Kearsarge.
This program is supported by HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. Coming to you from the Kearsarge SAU building here in New London, we're giving an update on all things happening here at your local school district. And I'm now joined by Christine Downing, the Sutton Central Principal and Director of Curriculum here. Hi, Christine.
Good to see you, Abby.
Good to see you. I'm excited to talk to you because I think education is always a hot topic in everyday world, but competency-based learning is something that Kearsarge has been doing the last 5 or 6 years. And I think it's important for our viewers, the public, to know what is this different type of curriculum.
Sure, thanks, Abby, and I'm glad to be here today and talk a little bit about it. Competency-based education has something that's been around in education for quite a while, but it really is bringing in, I heard in former interviews that you talked about career-connected learning.
Yeah.
That's really being thoughtful about our curriculum planning and the opportunities we offer our students.
Okay.
And in Kearsarge, we pride ourselves in offering students a variety of pathways.
Okay.
I know Superintendent Feneberg talked about our extended learning opportunities program at the high school.
Yes.
We've seen increases with that, with students exploring internships with local businesses, exploring other hobbies and interests, but attaching learning to it. So part of our first process, and I just have to give a shout out to all our Kearsarge educators who are deeply committed to providing the most relevant learning we can for our students. They have spent several summers. When school ends, they come to this building and they put hours into really defining what does our curriculum look like, how do we make it transparent for all our stakeholders, not just our students, but our community and families as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so is it taking something like your everyday math class or science class and figuring out how to make it, you know, textbooks are great, but also relevant to everyday world?
It is exactly that, Abby. And you know, often we think about competency-based education at the high school level because we know our students are more independent, right? They are finding more pathways, but we have it happening K through 12 in Kearsarge. You know, we've featured this year, our elementary students have come to the board level to show their digital learning skills. So just a couple weeks ago, we had elementary students showing board members how they, for example, were completing a circuit using bananas to run a piano app on a computer.
Wow.
Isn't
Impressive.
that phenomenal?
That's impressive.
I mean, it was great. And at the middle school, we have all kinds of STEAM initiatives happening at the middle school. You know, and it is this balance of academics, but also what we call these future-ready skills. You know, these skills, communication like this, you know,
Sure.
being active and involved,
Right.
that come together. And we have lots of great student leadership opportunities happening, the middle, the high school level, even the elementary. There's just so many great pathways that we're trying to articulate.
Right.
And this takes a lot of work by educators to be thoughtful in this planning process and bring in the resources we need. Because a part of competency-based education is student agency, giving our students choice and voice.
Sure.
And that's
Sure.
really driving a lot of work we do now.
So what is your role as director of curriculum for the district? How do you tie in with staff and helping them with their curriculum?
Yeah, I love that role.
Yeah.
And frankly, I love it because I get to work with educators, and they might have these kind of wacky ideas
Sure.
and they want to take the risk. And it's like, how can I support you to do that? Or
Great.
how can we as leaders support you to do that? And ultimately, who's the winner in the end? Our students.
Right.
You know, because they are seeing different opportunities on how to present what might have been traditional learning for some of us, you know, in that typical
Sure.
science classroom.
Yes.
Social studies. I
had
know.
some. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But how do you engage it and make it authentic for the students? And we have lots of opportunities.
Is it a lot of realizing too that not everybody learns the same way? So not everybody can learn by just someone standing at the front of the room for 50 minutes and dictating to them different topics. That was not how I learned anyway.
Yes.
And that was really tough for me, and I was more of the hands-on person, so you can kind of help kids find that avenue that works best.
Absolutely, Abby. I mean, I think you've got competency-based
Okay,
down
good.
down
Phew.
here.
I am a graduate of here, so.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And that's part of that student agency we talk about, giving students that choice and voice opportunities. So with that comes a lot of planning that educators need to think about. You know, if I want a student to learn a certain concept or skill, is it just through the book, right?
Right.
Or is it through traditional means? What are some of those other ways we can do it? And that's where it's really important. And Kearsarge, through its budget process, really supports professional learning of its staff.
Yes.
And that's a key component to all of this.
I love this insight because I think a lot of community members out there, they obviously pass by all of our schools, but they don't necessarily know what's happening inside the classroom every single day. And this is a great insight into what's happening. Christine Downing, thank you so much for the overview. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Abby, for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. When we come back, I'll be joined by Winfried Feneberg and Ashley Bauer-Haan to talk about the new Bradford Preschool. We'll be right back.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, with our check-in here at the Kearsarge Regional School District, learning about all the wonderful things happening. I'm now joined by Winfried Feneberg, the superintendent, and Ashley Bauer-Haan, who is one of the preschool teachers here. Hello to you both.
Hello
Hi.
again, Abby.
Some exciting news. There is a preschool opening in Bradford, which is very, very necessary. I think you could agree to that. Tell us all about this exciting new plan.
Well, we are really very pleased and excited about this opportunity to bring a preschool program to the southern part of the district. For years, we only had James House, and that is really a disadvantage for the parents and the children that live in Warner and Bradford, Newberry, South Sutton. So we had the opportunity to use COVID money and the big ARP ESSA grant that we were awarded to use a good chunk of money and build a 3-classroom addition dedicated to preschool programming for our early learners. And so I'm very, very happy to have Ashley here with us because she can tell us a little bit about what a preschool program and early learning program here in Kearsarge is.
Yeah, so
and how
exciting.
We're going to double capacity.
And we should mention this is for the next school year, so starting in the fall, but enrollment's happening now, which I'm sure is being very, very popular. Ashley, tell us all about it, and how's this, this must be so exciting for your program.
Yeah, we're really excited to expand the early childhood experiences. You know, they will have access to the preschool activities like blocks, dramatic play, sensory activities, art mediums, and then tinkering projects We're also really into exploring the natural world. Both locations have access to trails and just things that we can explore. You know, both locations, any community child that is 3 to 5 can enroll. We also service children who receive special education services. So it is an inclusion preschool. It is part-time.
Okay.
There's a 3-year-old program in the morning.
Okay.
And then a 4-year-old pre-K program in the afternoon.
Great.
So it is also tuition-based for the typically developing students who do not receive special ed services.
This must be a big deal too, because a lot of kids have siblings that go to schools, for New London, for example, to New London Elementary, and for Bradford. So they've seen their siblings go to these schools, and they must be really excited that now they get the opportunity to go to the same school as their sibling too. That must be really exciting.
Yeah, I think we are excited about having the opportunity to include that in the Bradford site.
Absolutely.
We were looking in the past in Warner because there was interest to have it there. We just were not able to find a location that was suitable. So having this grant opportunity and having federal money to support this project, we really were looking together with the school board for the last 8 years to expand the options that parents have. And so I think that's, it's well received. I think our enrollment is almost at capacity already.
Wow.
So
that shows.
that is very exciting to see that more kids have the opportunity to get an early start.
How's the actual construction going? It's going to be a separate building on the campus of Bradford Elementary. How's that going in preparation for August to come?
Well, the actual classrooms are manufactured. They are done. They're ready to go.
Great.
We need to have a foundation or a slab, basically.
Sure.
And we can't do much while it's winter, snow, and frost out there. But we're expecting by June 1st to have that installed. And then probably over the summer, Ashley and her staff can go about preparing the classroom.
Get all the toys in there.
Yeah.
What does this mean for hiring? What do you need for hiring to support this?
Well, we have Ashley.
We love Ashley.
Great asset. And we need to hire 2 teachers altogether for Bradford, and 1 additional teacher at New London. So we have 2 teachers here, 2 teachers in Bradford.
Fantastic. And if people are interested in applying, I'm sure you can go right to the Kearsarge website.
Please do. Yes, we actually, we will probably advertise the preschool positions relatively soon. So people look at the advertisements on EdJobs and other places, just to have enough preparation and make a smooth transition there.
Fantastic.
We will also have a playground for the little ones.
Necessary, right? You have to have a playground.
Yeah, just some things that are a little bit different than the elementary playground. It'll be fully fenced in, and just a little smaller, more accessible for our youngest learners.
Fantastic. Really exciting. It sounds like a very necessary need for the district, so that's fantastic. And I'm sure you have a lot of 3 to 5-year-olds that'd be very excited to start school come fall. Winfried Feneberg and Ashley Bauer-Haan, a former Kearsarge alum no less. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When we come back, I'll be joined by Pare, the new facilities director here, to talk about all things facilities in the Kearsarge district. We'll be right back.
This program is supported by Main Street Bookends of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and we're coming to you from the SAU building here in New London, giving you an up-to-date information of all the things happening within this Kearsarge Regional School District. And I'm now joined by Pare, who's the new Director of Facilities here. Hi, Brett.
Hi, Abby. How are you?
Welcome to the district. This
Thank
is
you.
your first full school year. You joined end of last year, correct?
Yep.
And so give us a little synopsis and let people know who you are.
Yeah, so like Abby said, this is my first year with the district. It's been a really exciting time to get to know everybody and see all the schools, and looking forward to lots of work coming up.
Yeah, I'm sure you got here and hit the ground running and was like, okay, here's a bunch of buildings in the district. It's not just a few here. We got a lot of towns, a lot of buildings. What are some of the things that you've been working on this last year?
Yeah, so I think it's really looking at becoming more of a kind of preventative department and really addressing the needs both short and long term to make sure that our facilities are ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you cover all sorts of different facilities in this district. You have really much older buildings, you have some new ones, you have ones that have been renovated, like the building we're in right now, and I'm sure that brings a little bit of a challenge to some of these things. What are some of the certain projects that you're dealing with some of the buildings around the district?
Yeah, so a couple exciting projects, one of which we're wrapping up one of the LED projects at the middle school, followed by the LED project here at the SAU in Sutton, which will make the district run predominantly on LED lighting. We started a really exciting partnership with Siemens, which is our HVAC contractor.
Oh.
They're really setting us up for both projects here in the short term as well as the long term, just to make sure everything stays running.
Fantastic. One of the things we talked about last year as we got closer to voting day in 2022 was the STEAM project happening at the high school. And not only was it some renovations and new classroom space, but there was some additions that needed to happen to the building, including boilers, roofs. Those are things that still need to be done. Can you help people understand and address that?
Yeah, definitely. So boilers at the high school, we're actually going to be doing that project this summer. Which will get them up to the current standards for today.
Great.
As well as next summer, we're hopeful that we'll be able to replace the HVAC for the auditorium at the high school.
Important. And where's the STEAM project lie? I mean, it's definitely something that you guys are interested in continuing to do. It's very important in today's education, but it was tabled for this year.
Yeah, it was tabled for this year. And as Winfried mentioned earlier, hoping to bring that back in April. Really sit down and take a look at it in terms of, recosting it and making sure it meets the needs for today.
Very important. What are some of the grants that you work with in your position? I mean, some of this comes from taxpayer dollars, of course, but there are other ways that you can get funding.
Yeah, definitely. We were fortunate enough to receive funding as part of the SAFE grants, which is really prioritizing the safety of the buildings in the district. So we're moving forward with that in the coming months to address various concerns throughout the district.
And is that security and fire?
So the SAFE grant was predominantly focused on the physical security of the buildings.
Oh, okay.
Exterior access and things of that nature.
Got it. Important in today's day and age. And we talked to Winfried and Ashley Bauer-Haan about Bradford, which is really exciting. A new preschool opened there at the start of next school year, so in this fall. But you've, I'm sure, had your hands part of that. How's that looking in Bradford?
Looks great. Just a couple weeks ago, we received photos of the finished modular pieces, so those are ready to be transported up here as soon as we're ready for them. Hoping to have the foundation ready for the beginning of June. And then get the teachers in there as soon as possible. Yeah,
lots to set up, get it ready, and then kids arrive end of August, so there's not much time left there. Overall, things are good here at Kearsarge. I'm getting the sense from, which is fantastic. Brett, I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much.
Abby.
When we come back, I'll be joined by Assistant Superintendent Michael Bessette talking about moving on from COVID times. We'll be right back.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from the SAU here in New London of the Kearsarge Regional School District. And I'm now joined by the Assistant Superintendent, Michael Bessette. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Abby.
We're excited to talk about something other than COVID, right? We're excited to move on from that. But from there, how are things going here at the district post-COVID?
I think they're going very well, thank you. And to be honest with you, there's that old expression, can you make lemonade out of the lemons? And I think this is a prime example of something that we could spend some time talking about, in that we have arrived at the point now after COVID where we have some life lessons, we have some activities, and we have some benefits from going through that experience that have kind of met with our challenge to be innovative in practice and to continue some really positive things moving forward based on those life learning experiences. So we're in a good place.
I think that's fantastic. And I think a lot of people think about some of the negative side of COVID, especially within school districts. You guys faced a lot of challenges, but you're here to talk about some really good positive things that happened from COVID.
And it starts with dollars. I mean, a lot of people might assume that, going through that COVID crisis, a lot of those dollars that were going to have to be spent in order to provide a quality a safe environment for students to learn in, we're always going to come out of those local tax dollars. And in fact, we actually spent quite an amount of funds from federal funds, the ESSER funds, the 3 releases. We've spent more recently up to about $1.5 million worth of ARP funds to try to do some really innovative practices and supports. A lot of that was tied to trying to help kids get through that experience and help teachers deal with that. We bought some technology in order to help provide some of those remote learning experiences. We also took the opportunity to kind of dive deeply into how can we look beyond just the moment where a child is sick, but how are we going to mitigate the impact of their illness and support those families. And so we were able to hire tutors at using federal funds to actually provide one-on-one supports that really helped. And that data shows in our learning results for our reading and our math scores in comparison with some of the other folks who may not have chosen to take that path forward with those funds. But it's exciting.
It's very exciting, and I'm glad to hear that so many good things are happening now as you have kind of a somewhat normal year post-COVID, which is fantastic. Michael Bessette, thank you for the update.
You're welcome.
When we come back, Winfried Feneberg will join me again to talk about some hiring opportunities and some concluding thoughts. We'll be right back.
This program is supported by HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and backup generators. Their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. HR Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and joining me now is the Kearsarge Regional School District Superintendent, Winfried Feneberg. Hello again.
Hello again, Abby.
One topic, very timely topic that everyone is kind of talking about right now is hiring. You obviously always have some sort of opening, but there are some positions that you're looking to fill. Talk about hiring here at the district.
Yeah, we will have openings. There's no doubt about that.
Sure.
We already know about several retirements and people moving on and moving away from here. So we will have open positions. We typically advertise them on our district website, as well as Ed Jobs New Hampshire and other places that people can get that information. We have, as I mentioned earlier, negotiated successfully a 3-year contract with our Pare educators. I should also mention that that is on the ballot, so people can vote for that. And the other thing that we really need to stress is that we have consistently had this year openings for para-educators that we were unable to fill. So if anybody is willing, able, or enticed to apply for any of those jobs in our schools, I would very much encourage people to do so. We're also trying to be very innovative with hiring. We're looking at job fairs. Our HR department is trying to advertise on social media. And we also look at even giving students at the high school information about education careers.
Right.
So there are hopefully some of our students that wish to go into education. It's a tough job, but it's a very rewarding and noble profession. And using that opportunity, I really would like to do a shout out to our administrators, to our teachers, our staff, nurses, custodians, everybody who's working every day here in Kearsarge to make good things happen for all of our students. That's really what we are all about. And big thank you to everybody who is involved in that.
Couldn't do it without them, right? And you all have survived these last couple challenging years, so it feels good to be back into the swing of things. How are things looking here at the district? And you got a big vote day coming up next week. Just give us a rundown of everything Kearsarge.
Well, that would take another half hour probably. But I hope you had you had gotten good information through those segments that we presented to you. If there are any questions, please feel free to call us, text us, email us. We would be more than happy to explain anything and answer all the questions the public may have.
Absolutely. Go into voting day, especially knowing that you're educated on what you'll find on the ballot.
Absolutely. Everything's
good here at Kearsarge. That's fantastic to hear. Getting into the end of another school year, a lot of exciting things happening for the next year. Any, you can't say the word of the year quite yet for next year,
Not
but
yet.
Any big exciting things happening for the next school year?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is the opening of our preschool.
Huge.
That in Bradford, that addition in Bradford will be a great service to kids and parents in the southern part of the school district. And then working on the high school renovation project and the STEAM project will be something that will come up next year. Will probably be on the ballot in March 24. And there's a lot of preparation that needs to happen there, costing, as Brett was pointing out, as well as it's just refining the ideas and the needs. And that includes athletic facilities that we had on, in that project as well.
Sure. Stay tuned for what's happening. I'm sure you'll be back with us at YCN very soon.
Be happy to update.
Yes, we'll have a lot of updates. Winfried, Feneberg, thank you very much.
Thank you, Abby.
Next week, Yankee Chronicle will be at Bell-Tate's in Andover. We'll hear from Harrison Roberts as he tells us about Bell-Tate celebrating 125 years in business. Tune in at this same time next week for another Yankee Chronicle. Please thank our underwriters for making this show possible, and thank you for watching.